With the end of the year upon us, many farmers, they are keeping an eye on the farmland market and reviewing what property moves to make to maintain profitability in 2026. Our good friend George Baird with the American Society of Farm Managers and Rural Appraisers joins us with his outlook. George, always a pleasure. So while we head into 2026, the potential headwinds that you see, what are you looking at?
You know, I'm visiting with producers, landowners, and bankers almost every day. And a lot of concerns, especially around rice and cotton, where we've seen those markets fall close to 40% over the last, 12 to 15 months. So a lot of supply on the ground, waning demand. I think tariff and the trade issues definitely have some issues or impact there. So that's kind of a main concern for us in the Mid-South. High input costs. You just mentioned, uncertainty about getting farm financing. That's a lot of concern about producers as they're getting all their books together and either going into their bankers now or will be over the next several weeks. And then the lease renewals. If you're going to enter a lease renewal, are you going to have security knowing that you can carry forward with that? So just a lot of questions and concerns and a lot of deep diving and really doing some reflection on their operations.
Well, I know that you and your producers that you work with, you're discussing the 2026 crop mix and planning and what the profitability outlook is for various crops. What are you seeing there?
From a landowner standpoint, we're sitting okay right now, although we've seen some returns dwindle from a producer standpoint. Especially if you take out commodity subsidies and look at timing of those, it really gets kind of difficult. So we really have some hard conversations looking at all crops. What I can tell you is we're going to probably be down because of, the rice and cotton prices, pretty significantly. I'm not so sure we won't see something way less than 1 million acres of rice, in Arkansas alone, and that's usually double that. So I think we're gonna see a lot of issues there. And then we're also looking to increase our corn and soybeans, which would, no doubt impact the rest of the supply and demand issues around those and tariffs and trade as well. So a lot of guys are just really doing some deep, introspective review of their operations.
Yeah, we're going to see what choices they're going to make as far as what crops they're going to be going with. You mentioned, of course, we were talking about these farm loans and the impact that's having, the trending that we're starting to see. This market uncertainty, how is it impacting leases? I mean, what are landowners thinking at this point?
I'm getting calls every few days about that. I can tell you over the last 32 years, I've averaged 1 or 2 lease changes a year. And this year I'm already looking at 12. And some of that's impacted by payment limitations. It's about subsidies. It's about timing. So people are just really, like I mentioned, trying to figure out everything. And a lot of those are not canceling leases. They're been able to consolidate acres closer to their shop. They're letting go marginal acres. They're letting go maybe dry land acres. It's really doing a complete reshuffle. So that has landowners who we represent also looking like, am I going to have the same leaseor I've had for years? And am I going to have to make changes? So a lot of good, deep discussions. Had more deep, heartfelt conversations of the last 8 weeks than I've had in the last 6 to 8 years.
Wow.
And just everybody trying to figure out how to work together to get through this period we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, of course, when you look back, but boy, much different even within the last 6 to 8 years. That's pretty incredible. When we start to look at some of these landowners and they start to think, what moves are we going to make? How are we going to do this? George, the value of land, is that impacted?
Thus far, we really haven't seen, especially that cropland A, that irrigated precision level, that's high quality property, really haven't slipped any. I think we are starting to see some of this B and C quality property. So irrigated, but maybe not leveled or dry land acres. Those are starting to back away a little bit as far as probably off 7 to 10% from what I'm hearing around. But it's still in our market, supply has been the number one issue over the last 5 to 10 years. And while it's still pretty tightly held, I'm starting to see a few more things come to the market. So it's right now, and of course, we really don't need, a price reset or something major that also reduces balance sheets either at this current time either. So we need to, hopefully we'll hold the course. We'll get a little churn in the market. We'll see some good opportunities come to the market, but they won't be I don't think, at any kind of fire sale or or the real problems people think as far as this is where we're at right now.
Yeah, just some answers, of course. So much uncertainty across all sectors of agriculture, that's for sure. George, thank you, as always, for joining us. Appreciate all the information you always supply us with. And happy holidays to you and your family. Hopefully you get a little downtime there. George Baird, of course, with the American Society of Farm Managers and Rural Appraisers.